Okay, finally this thing is working. Sorry, I was having a little trouble. I got too many windows open, I guess. Hello everyone, this is Red with RedDragonLeo.com. Let me minimize this. Okay. Today is Sunday, the 4th of September, 2011. What we're going to talk about today is a lot of stuff that's been going on out there that and how it relates to the stock market, and how I think that it is still going to line up with the Legatus Pilgrimage being a top of a major wave 2 inside of a primary wave 3 down, which should usher on the greatest stock market crash in the history of mankind. Now, Benjamin Fulford here, you gotta love the guy. I don't care what you think about him. He is a light worker. He is doing his best to get out there and tell the public, tell the world about these gangsters. Whether he's right or wrong isn't important. The important thing is that he is out there trying. He is exposing the public to these thugs, these murdering, raping, satanic, people-eating cannibals, known as George Daddy Bush, Prince Charles, Queen Elizabeth, Tony Blair, Dick Cheney, George Soros, Warren Buffett, David Rockefeller, Jay Rockefeller, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Obama and his wife Michelle are part of it too. I don't know how deep they go in it. I'm still undetermined on whether or not they're even human, or whether they're reptilians like the rest of them. They might actually be human. I don't know. I was sad to learn that Ronald Reagan was not human, that he was a reptilian shapeshifter as well, and Jimmy Carter as well. And those were, of course, George Bush. I've always hated that thug. Al Gore, same thing. We're all talking about the high-ranking Illuminati members here, folks. We're not talking about the average Illuminati member that may have been sucked into it and don't even know what they're a part of. Like, for example, the Hollywood stars. The Hollywood stars, for example, they really honestly do not know that they are in some cult group that actually kills and murders children. Here's a picture of someone that is not famous that I know of, and this is from Seeker 401 site. I love this guy. He's great. He puts it out there, and he's constantly putting hundreds and hundreds of videos, or I should say, he's done Lady Gaga, he's done Madonna, he's done Christina Aguilera, he's done Katy Perry, he's done practically every Jay-Z. He's big in the Illuminati. One of my favorite stars, Kiefer Sutherland, in the TV show 24, unfortunately, showed the Illuminati hand sign, which is basically holding your left pinky finger out with your right index finger out and closing the two in the middle, your ring finger and your middle finger, you close it down and you hold it out, and it looks like a goat horn, like this. And this is, in the old days they would sacrifice the goats, but I guess the reptilians learned that they could actually eat people and sacrifice people, and they got more thrill out of that and prolonged their life as reptilians, and allowed them probably to shapeshift. It's just speculation on my part. I don't know where they got the shape-shifting ability from, but that's 4,000 years of documented history of shape-shifting. So anyway, moving on. Ben Fulford doesn't talk about the reptilians. He only talks about, he's giving these gangster thugs a chance. And I name them off right here. These are the main ones here in America that are enslaving us, and these are the ones behind the Federal Reserve Board. These are the ones that are the main people who have stole trillions of dollars in assets from you. You're the sheep. I'm the sheep. I'm just an average Joe who tries to get out there and expose these gangsters for what they are. You know, that I don't have much to offer other than trying to expose them on the internet. That's it. I really don't have any significant amount of money. I'm not no rich person. I trade here in the market, try to make a living from it, but I can't. I still have to have a little part-time job because I'm an independent contractor, and I do work on the side here, and I work it around my my blog and my passion in the stock market. I'm working around that, so sometimes I'm gone in the evenings or on the weekends, and so, you know, let's just let you know a little about me, that I'm not no rich guy. I'm just an average Joe that's trying to make a buck or two to free myself from the enslavement that these gangsters have put upon us. I love the idea that what Ben is talking about here, that we're going to be free. I totally believe this. I totally believe you can choose what timeline you want to go down, and I'm going to go down the timeline where the gangsters are arrested and thrown in jail for crimes against humanity, for eating people, for killing people, for doing horrible, horrible things, causing wars, starting wars for profit. I went and watched the movie called Warlord of Wars by Nicolas Cage. It's amazing. It's just absolutely everything that these thugs do, and it's sickening in a way. It really, truly is sickening. Anyway, moving on here, I wanted to go on some other stuff here as well. You know, I talk about the people here that are what we call the light workers. I have gotten emails from people, and I want to thank those people for sending me emails. You know, I want to go out of the way right now and thank someone who actually made a donation. I rarely ever get donations. I don't ask for it. Like, and you can see right here, you can click on the button right here, donate. Feed the dragon. That's just me, you know. But I don't ask for it. I don't push for it. I know the Ron Walker, the chart pattern guy, pushes for it, and that's okay. He deserves some money, folks. He really does. The guy busts his butt to tell you technical analysis, and while he's not as in depth and has taken the red pill and went down the rabbit hole as deep as I am, he certainly has been really harsh on Ben Bernanke and the government over the last 6 months or so. He's really changed his tune from the last 2 years that I've watched this guy, and I have to give credit to him. I mean, I've learned a lot about technical analysis from him, but I have to mix it in with the fake prints that they throw out there, and mix it in with the news events, and try to figure out the timing of what the Illuminati are trying to figure out. And you know, I do want to say that some of you that have emailed me are part of the Illuminati and are good people. And I know I've probably woken you up to the true evil of what the organization's all about. You may not have known what it was truly about, that the high-ranking ones are not human, that they are reptilian shapeshifters. And you probably had no idea that that was the case, and you did not know that. You were just out to make a bunch of money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Money is a good thing and can be used for good as opposed to evil. So the old adage that your mother taught you that money was bad and evil, throw it out the window. It's not the case. Money is good as long as you use it for good purposes. Money is not evil itself. And so anyway, I just wanted to say that. But I am all about exposing these thugs, and these are some of my list of people who I think are doing a good job. I don't know if they're perfect. I don't know if they're not spies. I know I'm not. I've looked at myself numerous times in the mirror to see if my eyes are hexagon shaped, because I did some research here on the internet, and they actually have some type of holographic implants to make their eyes round instead of snake eyes. And sometimes that holographic image breaks down, and you'll see them every now and then. Like, you can search out Bush and Reptilian on the internet, and you'll see where he shapeshifted there for a second or so. and he lost his holographic abilities. And this is something that the high definition cameras do pick up. Hang on one second here. Sorry. So anyway, there are a bunch of people out there that have that very, very problem that you can look straight in their eyes and zoom in on it, and you can see it. It's almost like a stop sign. What do you call that? Not a pentagon, a hexagon, I guess you call it. So where the holographic image is not working well, that's how you can tell them. Go look at the movie. Go download the movie They Live again from 1988, called They Live. And you'll see, he puts on a special pair of sunglasses, the guy. It's a cheap made movie, and he sees them what they really are. Folks, there is 4,000 years of evidence showing that these shapeshifters are real, that these reptilians do exist. It even talks about it in the Bible. A snake tempted Eve. I mean, you know, this was a reptilian. But these are also the modern day vampires. Okay, so let's move on here a little bit. So my point here being is that I'm a fan of light workers that get out there and expose the truth. Again, my website was originally about the stock market, and it still is, but it has to do with how the Illuminati, reptilians specifically, not just the average Illuminati member that has no clue, because I think if they did, they'd exit the organization completely. It'd be like, you know, Oprah and Bill Gates. I mean, Oprah and Bill Gates are part of the Illuminati, and I don't think that they're bad people. Bill Gates is, I don't know, he's questionable at the best, but maybe he's got good intentions. I don't know for sure. I'm questionable about him, but I think Oprah's got a good heart, and she doesn't know. So the problem was that she got famous and got approached by the men in the black suits and said, hey, you join our organization or else. And so people were forced into the Illuminati, and they don't have a choice. So that does not mean that all of them are bad. So when I speak about the Illuminati, I want you to focus specifically on the reptilian side of this, and that is the Henry Kissinger, George Daddy Bush, and you know, people like that, David Rockefeller and Jay Rockefeller. These are the thugs. These are the murdering, rapist, Satanists, cannibals, child raping, murder thugs. I mean, horrible, horrible people. Okay, they're the ones that control this stock market. Make no mistake about it. They have every intention of taking the stock market down, but they don't want to do it just for and get caught for the derivative frauds that they have done and for stealing all the money. They have to have a false flag to blame it on. So we're getting to that, but they are going to try to have some type of false flag in the future, and probably by the end of this year, to blame the stock market crash on. So attention will be taken away from them, from the crooks that they are, and how they stole this money from and created all these bubbles with these derivatives and you know, derivatives are nothing more than options, folks. That's it. I mean, they're just options. They're just side bets, and they bet hugely, 101 bets. So anyway, I support all of these light workers for getting out there, telling it like it is, the best of their ability. Whether they're right or wrong isn't important. So do not fault someone because you found something wrong in what they've said. The point is, they woke you up to the possibility that something else is going on here. So look at it that way. They're out there trying. If they get disinformation, you know, forgive them. You know, this is what it's all about. I get disinformation, I'm sure. I'm sure I've said it. But I try to focus on the main thing, which is that we're all immortal spirits. We can choose our own path that we go down, choose our own timeline. And we can say no to the Illuminati, gangster reptilians. And we can choose, you know, to go down a path, a timeline that they are exposed and they are arrested and held, you know, for crimes against humanity. And as Ben Fulford says, you know, they are forgiven. They get a chance to get forgiven, because forgiveness, and it even says that in the Bible, turn the other cheek and forgive. You know, it's kind of hard to do. I've said it's hard to do because it's, how do you forgive something? Well, first of all, they're not even human, they're reptilian. So how do you forgive them? You know, how do you turn the other cheek? I don't know. But I won't let that affect me. Main thing here I'm focusing on here is for you to understand that the stock market crash is already planned. It has to happen. Even if the reptilians lost, the good guys that Ben Fulford talks about with the White Dragon Society and all that, they have to let the stock market crash so that they can come in with new money, get the gangsters out, come in for a fresh start, and get our economy booming again, a new fresh economy where literally where we have free energy technologies, cars that run on water, cars that get 200 miles a gallon, cars that run on electricity, free electricity you pick up from the air, like Nikola Tesla, who invented electricity, or invented the light bulb, invented the telephone, not Alexander Graham Bell like the history books say, or Thomas Edison. They didn't invent it. Nikola Tesla did. He also invented a car that ran on magnets, and he put an engine in a car that got 80 horsepower. It's enough to power a car in the 30s, and he picked up electricity from the air and drove down the road. This was his technology. HARP is his technology. They warped it and made it an evil thing. HAARP, High Altitude Auroral Research Project. This is at least 13 locations across the world. There again, a 13, an Illuminati number, besides 11 and other Illuminati numbers. But anyway, there's at least 13, maybe more. But they took this technology and then they stole it from him when he died in the 40s and turned it into a weapon. But more on that in a minute. One of the things here I wanted to focus on here, Goldman Sachs, I've spoken this, but I've got a fake print of them, and I forget what the print is. I don't know, it's in the teens. It's, I don't know, 10 or 12. 10, I can't even remember now, $10 or 12 or $20. I have to look and see, but it's a really, really low print. Bottom line is they're talking about sacrificing Goldman Sachs. It is going to happen, and let's see, $13.10 back in 2010. So, they plan on sacrificing Goldman Sachs. So they're using Goldman Sachs. Here, Goldman Sachs, who's got a perfect record of 100% winning record over the last 3 years. Every day they made money. Every single day they made money with their high-frequency trading software that got stolen from one of the programmers or something, a Russian guy, I think, that created it for them. He transferred it overseas, and Goldman Sachs was stupid enough to go in court and say to the judge that, well, judge, in the wrong hands, this program could be used to manipulate the stock market. Huh? The judge looked at them and said, well, how can we trust you? So I don't know whatever happened with that. The guy ever got arrested or what. I never heard anything more about it. But bottom line was he stole their technology or their program, sold it or transferred it to a server somewhere else, which in another country, and basically sold it and got some money from it. So good for him, especially if he created it. So. But the bottom line was they were front running. They were tapped right into the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, I guess to all of them. They were tapped right into the phone line systems, into their data to where they could front run and see the orders coming in to buy and sell beforehand in milliseconds. And they were buying ahead of these people so they get a better position and the market would go up and then they'd sell it. And they did it consecutively, and they never made a losing trade in like 3 years. Not a single day did it take a loss. So here they are. They lost 98% of Gaddafi's money. How do you do that when you got a perfect record? How do you do that unless you right out stole the money from this guy? And that's exactly what they did. They stole the money from Gaddafi. Listen, I don't know Gaddafi, other than what the mass media portrays him to be, a bad guy and everything. But I do know that he was giving away money there, I don't know, the last year or the last few months or something. They said he was giving away money to the public. Maybe his soul's coming clean. Maybe all the bad things he's done. He said no to the New World Order and flipped the bird and said, "Hey guys, I'm not playing your game anymore." So he's starting to be a good guy for once. And of course, they're going to make him out to be a bad guy. So maybe he's done some bad things in the past. I don't know. I mean, he's probably murdered people and stuff like that. So I'm not saying he's a saint, but the thing is, in the end, the guy was trying to come clean and get away from these gangster thugs, the Bush, the Rockefeller, the Cheney, the Clinton, the Kissinger, all these New World Order thug Illuminati reptilians. He's trying to get away from them. And what did they do? They got Goldman Sachs to go trick him and take his money, his billion plus money, I don't know, $4 billion, and you can watch this, and they stole it from him. And that's what these thugs do. And in this interview, you got Donald Trump saying how he screwed him over. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of trash, dirt. I wouldn't piss on him if he's on fire. I swear I wouldn't. Matter of fact, I'd throw gasoline on the guy. Okay? Sorry, but that's just the way I feel about him. He's a thug. Okay, so moving on. We're getting on to Dutch Sense. Dutch Sense has become very, very popular on the internet, and recently had his, his life threatened. Basically, they put his personal information online, and his name and home address, and his parents' home address, and he had somebody come into his parents' house and knocking on the door, and she's a poor old lady, don't know what the heck is going on, and it's just strange stuff. That's just what the Illuminati gangsters do. And the worst thing that they did was they sent two men with AK-47s in a black Hummer to his best friend's house and shot his best friend up. And he's still alive. They shot him, I don't know, 5 or 6 times or something like that. And you watch the video and he will tell you. But it got the attention of Carrie Cassidy with Project Camelot, who, those of you who do not know, listen, Bill Ryan and Carrie Cassidy of Project Camelot are the modern day Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. You have to go there and spend your time on Project Camelot's website and learn from it, watch it, and not all the stuff is going to be accurate. Some of it is disinformation, but Carrie and Bill are very good at figuring out what the disinformation is, and they'll flat out tell you they disagree with something. So so listen to that. Part 3 here is especially good, as by the way, they're here on the Red Pill site here. That's where I found David Wilcock, Dolores Cannon, Benjamin Fulford. All came from George Green. All came from Project Camelot. With that's where I found a lot of these folks. I mean, so but anyway, part 3 is very, very good, as Dutch goes into where he's put the pieces together. What Dutch got in trouble for was talking about the blooms that he's seen over the coast of California. He was using all the websites that are available out there for free from weather.com and NASA and other foreign governments and all the different various websites that show you, where it's Google Earth or something like that show you radar. He was using all this, and he spotted plumes that should have only appeared above volcanoes that were active, and they were appearing in California, and that people were getting a smell of rotten eggs, a gassy smell, and then earthquakes happened. So he got that, and he got some emails, and the emails were threatening to him, and he basically sent them a little 2-letter word back, F you. So good for him, good for Dutch. He's standing up there. He's getting a lot of traffic now, especially that Project Camelot has put him out there in the day, in the exposure, and that's a good thing. So he'd hide in plain sight. My site is not near that popular. If it ever becomes that popular, then I'll know, because they'll be threatening me and things like that. So far, they haven't done that. So, and rest assured, I have no intentions of ever committing suicide or hanging myself or something stupid like that. So if that ever happens, they got to me. Okay, so anyway, but I could promote myself heavily, folks. I have the knowledge to do this. I have the knowledge to really promote a blog heavily. I don't have the time. The stock market thing is a passion of mine, and I guess you'd call it the stock market part's the hobby, but the passion is exposing the gangsters and waking up the world to what they are. Because I can't live off my stock market earnings. I still, like I said, have a job until I get out of that job where I had more time to do it. Then I can really promote this site, and I can double, triple, or quadruple the amount of traffic I get to it. But until then, I have to just rely on the few folks of you that do listen, about 1,000 people a day. Not much, but hey, last year it was over 2,000, but it's dropped off since then. Anyway, my thoughts on this were that they go in and he talks about Elenin and stuff like this, and I've said this before. I think Elenin is too mainstream now. It has been allowed to be seen by the average person at NASA's websites. So I believe they are using it as a fear tool so that they can create their own type of catastrophe, bringing on Armageddon to kill off 80% of the population as they're trying to do. Now, whether or not they succeed, I don't think they're going to. More light workers are stepping up and exposing them, and I think that they will not win. As I put on one of my last posts, and where is she? Did I put her on there? Anella Benz. Well, I need to put her on there. Also, my blog row. Okay, she must be on the red pill site. Okay, blue pill site's worthless. Where's the red pill site at here? Anella Benz. Did I put her on there? Nope, but I got to put her on there. I got to add her on there. Okay. She, as I put her on the last video I did a week or two ago, she says there's a 70% chance that we're moving into a new the frequency of the earth is high enough that we are moving into a new existence where these Illuminati members are no more. They're done. So, and I totally believe that. It's up to you. You can choose what timeline you want to go down. Either timeline you go down, the stock market is still crashing. Okay, make no mistake about that. It has to crash to clean out the gangsters. The gangsters want it to crash so they can buy everything up at cheap prices, but they get arrested. That's another story. So, but Dutch put all these pieces together, and he did a really great job. He put the piece together of the oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico being blown up by Halliburton, because that was of course told to do by George W. Bush and Henry Kissinger and David Rockefeller, etc. Those gangster thugs. He basically said that they are dumping weapons. I think he said Blackwater, which is the secret gangster gang of mercenaries that the government thugs hire when they can't use the Navy, the United States Navy or Marines, stuff like that. Blackwater anyway. So they're funded by a lot of black projects and stuff like that. That's off the books. That especially like drugs, like I've said before, drugs could be wiped out in a matter of days. You could go over to Colombia or wherever all the majority of the drugs come in at. They could wipe. Come on, folks, we went to Afghanistan and wiped them out in a few weeks. We could go to Colombia and wipe out a few drug dealers in a heartbeat. They don't want them wiped out because they make too much money from the drug dealers, and they fund these black project programs. So that's why cocaine and heroin and crack and all this stuff still gets into America. It's never been about that. They don't want to shut it down. Why would they? It's their cash cow. So, anyway, Dutch goes into saying that Blackwater had been dumping old weapons that are no longer in use. Bombs, I guess bombs and guns and everything, ammunition, whatever. They've been dumping it right in that same location where the oil rig blows up. So what happens there is they get a two-banger. They get to dispose of all that weaponry and blow it up when they blew up the oil rig at the same time. and but it's more than a two banger, it's a three banger, because they disrupt the natural flow of the water, that the Gulf Stream that they speak of. It has changed now, and that's why we've got, I think Dutch said, 10 billion different fish and crabs and things that are dead, that are from a result of this. It's been floating up on the sea and floating up on the beach, which is pretty sad, to say the least. But one of the things that he goes over, another thing that he goes over in this video, is the Fukushima disaster in Japan, when George Daddy Bush attacked him with HARP. Now Benjamin Fulford says that it was attacked with nuclear bombs planted. I think it's both. Just put it together, it's both, okay? Like they used 4 different types of technology to bring down the Twin Towers. So they took that out, and some of the things that resulted in that, from the chemtrails and the nuclear materials, they decay into barium and strontium, 2 elements that are used for what they call Project Bluebeam. This is the technology that is used to create holograms. So they are literally sprinkling the earth with chemtrails that they know, and radiation from the nuclear explosions going off. The whole goal here is to get enough barium and strontium to create a hologram of a fake alien invasion using Project Bluebeam, so they can create their Armageddon scenario, and so they can set the earth or set the planet on fire. And he explains this in here very well. He's put it all together to where it's going to look like the map by Gordon Scallosi. I can't even remember his last name. I had that here. Let's see if I can find that. Gordon Scallosi, his map. There's more than just that. There's Edgar Casey's map, where the United States is split in half. It's some pretty crazy stuff, and I had that somewhere to show you those pictures, but I don't seem to have it anymore. So anyway, you can look that up on the internet, and I'm sure you'll find it. But anyway, let's move on. The next thing here is, we'll get, I guess, to the stock market at this point. I think I've covered pretty much everything that can be covered here in this. And of course, we're kind of hung up right now. Am I not responding on something? Yeah, I'm maxing out my CPU. I've got too much stuff running. Let's see here. 10 gigabytes. Well, okay. Let's get to the stock market if I can, and we will go to that. I think I've covered enough of that, and you can watch all that in the individual videos I post on the blog. But the bottom line I want to put there is the stock market crash is going to happen no matter what. Even the good guys need to have it happen. They don't want it to happen, but they know that they got to clean out the system, and they got to let it happen. And then the bad guys want it to happen because they think they can buy up all the assets for cheap prices. Who's going to win out or not, I don't know. I hope the bad guys don't make it. You can clearly see here on the monthly chart, this is a huge MA pattern. I haven't spoken of this before in a while, but I wanted to go over this now. And we can probably go here and do the chart here thing where I can draw with the tablet. Which is basically pretty simple. It's not like rocket science here. Okay, so basically this whole thing is an MA, and you can see it. MA patterns go like this, and the A goes like this. You don't really draw the line across, but you get the idea. The A down here goes significantly lower, commonly every bit the distance between this and this. So if that's the case, then you're talking about a market that goes like this. So we can very easily hit our 34.65 print on the SPY. And that is obviously going to take us into 2013 or whatever. Very possibly that could happen. Now, on the weekly chart, we have a horrible topping tail, as you can see right there. That is just horrible for the bulls. They have very, very little chance of coming back up. The only thing I can see that could happen here pretty much is that they'll rally up a little bit here, maybe half this distance in the Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly Thursday, into Bernanke's speech, as we got light volume, and they may be thinking that he might be saying something significant to about QE3, but in the end I think it's going to tank. This time we've done hit this several times, 1150. This time we can very well go right past it in a wave 3. I don't know how far it's going to go down, but if you do the math on this, try to figure it out, we should easily take this out. You expect this to come up a little here, maybe as I said, but actually let me change that here, because actually what I'm thinking is going to come up here on this day is that we will go down first, then come back up and put in a spinning top pattern. This will be the most likely scenario, because we need to get down here to this 1160 area, because where it's at, look at the support we got from right here. That's about that 1160 area when you drive it all the way over to here. So there's still some major support there. Okay. Plus, this has not formed a negative divergence yet, and the market is still, the MACD is still moving up. So I've said this before, I think it's going to get close to zero. I don't know how close, but I think it's going to get close right into there before it rolls back over. Now, as far as this, I would expect, since we've already had this big sell-off like this, what I'm looking to happen here is some type of, well, maybe not like that. Maybe on Wednesday we get an equal one. Come here, buddy. Daggone it. I sometimes, this thing is just such a pain sometimes. And I didn't even mean to change that, but what happened? Alright, we went to the next chart or something, I guess. Well, and I'll get to my own charts here in a minute, but the video is getting pretty daggone long right now. But I did want to get to the market, because it is an indecisive market at this time. Come on. Again, I am looking for a kind of pattern, maybe like that. And then here I'm kind of looking for this, and then maybe up a little bit the next day, and then back down, down, down. I'm looking for some negative divergence to come on this market before it finally rolls over, and I'm looking for this to run on up here before it rolls over. I just don't think it's ready to roll over just yet. So that's kind of what I'm looking for there. So obviously here we would again be maybe some type of candle like that, and then the next day up, and then into Thursday you might have it go up just one little gap up in the morning, then sell off and maybe close down lower, and then Friday even worse, even take it out. That's just what I'm seeing here in the market. Same thing here on the 60-minute chart. So what I'm looking for in the 60-minute chart right here is for it probably to break this support, going down here to about the 1160, maybe go down to here, but I don't think it's going to go that far, but maybe it does. I'm really more thinking it's going to stop there, and then the light volume is going to take in place, and it's going to go up a little bit right here. It'll probably hit this trend line of resistance right here, which takes it to about 1180, 1185, and that would be, doing one of these numbers, as you can see, and then maybe on Wednesday it dips down and then goes back up, or it just sells off into the close. I think the more likely scenarios will sell off into the close on Tuesday and bring it back down. That's what I would think it would happen. And then maybe gap up on a Wednesday, and when it gaps up, you have your negative divergence here. It's kind of hard to see, to draw all this. Let me try this again. But so let's go with a candle here like this, candle here like this, candle like this, and then like this. As you can see, you get the idea. You get a positive divergence. You get a little bit of a kind of like this, and then like that. Get the idea? Okay. So again, that's what I'm seeing in that chart. That's what I'm expecting. Same thing here on the 30-minute chart. Same thing. We drop down through that. That's obviously a bear flag. I don't think we're going to drop all the way down to here. It's a possibility, but same thing here. This would support the idea that initially we drop down and we create a positive divergence like this, and then we go up here throughout the day and roll back down. I would think we would roll back down into the afternoon, which again would give us our move down, move back up, and then move back down. And that ends up being the day with the spinning top kind of, or doji kind of pattern. Then the next day you see a big up candle on a Wednesday. It's kind of the scenario where it would gap back up, because you would have put in another positive divergence here. This is again speculation, but this is just based upon what Bernanke is going to speak, and the fact that he's going to speak again on Thursday, and it just makes sense to me. We got light volume throughout the week, and so that's just kind of what I'm seeing. But the end of the week, I think Thursday or Friday we're going to tank. So that would be my day to get short. So anyway, I've really let this video go too long, folks. I'm sorry, but I had a lot to go over. So I think that covers it. Good luck, everyone, and I will see you on the blog or in the chat room at stockmarketbloggers.com. Thanks a lot.